Hello, I'm Danielle Falconer, and welcome to Goth, a Culture. Tonight, we'll be diving into the depths of Gothic culture and literature. Tonight, we have for you Gothic literature, what it means, and the traits it possesses. To Megan Swanson.
I'm Megan Swanson, and tonight we'll be discussing the elements of Gothic literature. Terror, madness, darkness. Other traits include a victim who is helpless against his torturer, a victimizer who is associated with evil and whose powers are immense. The atmosphere is pervaded by a sense of mystery, darkness, oppressiveness, fear, and doom to recreate the atmosphere of a crypt. The setting of a Gothic story is used to heighten the victim's sense of hopeless isolation. The victim is entranced by the power of the victimizer.
Thank you, Megan. That was riveting. Now we have Gothic comparisons throughout history with Adam Kufalt. Adam?
The elements of Gothic literature can be found in the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. In the novel, the victim, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, is helpless against his torturer, the monster. The monster, a creation of Frankenstein, is associated with evils and powers that are both immense and supernatural. Frankenstein comments on the powers and abilities of the monster. This creates a hopeless isolation for Dr. Frankenstein, who feels isolated and alone. The atmosphere of the novel is surrounded by a sense of mystery, darkness, oppressiveness, fear, and even doom. This creates a man versus nature situation with Dr. Frankenstein. The dark and oppressive atmosphere creates a feeling of hopelessness in Frankenstein, who feels there is no place to run from the relentless monster. All of these traits and more of the Gothic literature can be seen in the terrific novel by Mary Shelley.
Thanks, Adam. And now finally, we have Survival of the Gothic Tradition with Brady Benson.
The Goths are a subculture that emerged out of the late 70s and early 80s that use different themes and traits from Gothic literature developed much earlier. Many Goths feel like they have been rejected from normal society, and so they turn to this different subculture to find relief. Most Goths are seen as violent and paganistic people when really that is not a part of the Gothic subculture. While the rate of self-harm among young people in general turned out to be between 7 and 14%, 53% of those linked to the Goth subculture reported self-harm and 47% had attempted suicide. Most Goths feel isolated from the rest of the general population, much like the characters of the 17th and 18th century Gothic literature.
There are many examples of modern literature that contain the traditional elements of Gothic literature. These include Stephen King's The Shining, Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and the novel Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane.
This concludes our night's production of Goth, a Culture. Thank you, and tune in next week for Werewolves, Friend or Foe.